Hey, what's up, guys? I was sitting here and I thought I would go live. I'm not at my desk. I'm just sitting upstairs. I was downstairs with the kids, right? And we were watching TV together. Me and their mother and everything else. And this show comes on, right? And it's called the most expensivest. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What is the most expensivest? And apparently the show is like it features the rapper Two Chains. And if you remember, he had that song, "All I Want for My Birthday Is a Big Booty Hoe." I don't know if y'all remember that. And anyway, Two Chains, who's about 42 years old, he basically interviews a bunch of white startup founders, white entrepreneurs, mostly white. I haven't seen any black people on there. I think they might have had a black person on there when he was doing something with a hair or a beauty shop or some shit, and I was watching it, right? What's up, Supreme Shabazz? What's going on? And I was watching it, and I was trying to give the show a chance, right? And uh, and then I was just sitting there and I was just looking at it, and every show he's draped in like Gucci or Dolce and Gabbana, wearing sunglasses and jewelry and shit, and just making like one stupid comment after another. So there's some, entrepreneur who's dressed nicely, who's intelligent, who's describing, his business startup, the technology behind it, or whatever. And so but yet every time he comes in there, he ends up looking like a clown. He just, he makes some corny remark. He's trying to be funny. He's like, "Yo, bro, this dope, bro. Oh, this what? You got five of these? What? No, bro, no." And I was trying to watch it, right? I was watching. I was like, okay, you know, maybe I just should watch it without a critical eye. And I swear to God, I just I was watching it and I just couldn't understand why I was getting annoyed. I was getting real annoyed. And then I just rolled over and went to sleep in Alicia's lap, and the kids and Alicia were watching it while I was asleep. And I was listening to it while I was sleeping. And I think my subconscious mind was processing why this bullshit was getting on my nerves. And so I woke up and I was like, I do not like this show. I said, this man is a fucking clown right now. It's called Most Expensivest, right? Just like fucked up grammar, like really what it does. And I think because I could at first I swear to God, at first I was like, okay, let me just watch it, you know. And eventually I got to the point where I was like, must every black man be a fucking rapper or athlete or comedian? Is that all you got, black man? Seriously, every fucking entrepreneur on this show is a white guy. Every single one of them. All the guys making the billions, setting up the companies, thinking about the LLCs, developing the trademarks and the copyrights. Everybody that Vice has on this show pretty much is a white guy, or maybe it'll be an Arab guy or an Asian person. And you got this, and the one common factor, the one common person on the show is the brother who's 42 years old acting like a damn clown. Like literally, that's all he's there for, is to be the comic relief. He's the comic relief. And what it does is it kind of speaks to the idea that the black man is typecast, in this society. And you allow this. You allow them to typecast you. So you're typecast. If you're not a rapper, a comedian, or an athlete as a black man, the media has no use for you. And so as a community, we end up idolizing the clowns in our community. We end up looking up to the clowns. Malcolm X talked about that. Malcolm X talked about how they were elevating entertainers and making them into so-called black leaders, and these were not the people. He said, show me a place in the white community where a comedian or an actor is the leader of the white community. And I thought about that, and I said, that's really true. When you've got the masses of people that listen to rappers, and a lot of the rappers don't know shit, doesn't mean all of them are stupid, but there's a certain way that you have to carry yourself, in order to even fit into most of that culture. It's not all a rap culture, right? I know some rappers who are not bad people. I know some rappers who are some good guys, smart, individuals, all this other stuff. But a lot of individuals are just truly fucked up in the head. Um, just, I mean, I can think of examples, but I'm not going to go into those examples. I'm just sort of processing this right now. So I was trying to watch this show and I was trying to enjoy it. And then something inside of me said, I don't enjoy any of this shit. Because what it's telling me as a black man is that if you're not a fucking rapper, comedian, or athlete, you're not you have no place in this place, right? So I just told him, I said, I'm going upstairs, I'm gonna go to bed. This guy's a clown. I have no respect. This is not, this is, in fact, I've even read that Two Chains is, in real life he was supposed to have been a smart guy. I heard he made straight A's or something in college. But think about this, process this. Entertainment is so fucked up, media is so fucked up that a black man can only fit in if he pretends to be stupid. Even if you're smart, you're supposed to hide your intelligence. You're supposed to pretend to be ignorant. The only way you can get in is if you pretend to. So Two Chains is a smart guy who's pretending to be stupid so he can fit in. Some of y'all might think that that's, intelligent or whatever. I don't think it's intelligent. I think it's embarrassing. I think it's very sad. And yeah, never show Junior Bridgman right. We got plenty of black men and women in the community that are intelligent and capable and doing amazing things. And I guess that's what white folks do, right? They use their weight, they use their financial weight to elevate the individuals that are going to be an embarrassment to the culture. And then what happens is because they've given them those resources and put them on those big platforms, they end up shaping the culture. And then they distort and misshape the culture to the point where you have, 50 million black boys that want to be rappers, but no black boys that want to be anything other than that. Want to be rappers and athletes and shit. And most of them never succeed as rap. Even they don't even make it as rappers. They don't even make money as rappers. And then you have a whole community full of all these men who are pretty worthless, incapable of really doing anything other than sitting around and feeling sorry for themselves, or making intelligent people feel ashamed of being smart. I've seen black people get made fun of because they speak, in a certain way, or because they are ambitious and want to work hard, or because they do actually have, some degree of self-empowerment other than sitting around thinking the white man's going to take care of them or love them or whatever, so it's something that I'm just sharing this thought that I had about it. It goes back to even in Atlanta. When you talk about Atlanta's a really nice place, and there's a lot of stuff there that's really interesting to observe. And I was thinking about Atlanta a lot because Atlanta is a place where there's a lot of debate over whether or not the city should open up with the virus and all that. But I saw the Atlanta mayor, Keisha Bottoms. She shared a screenshot of a tweet that she got, some tweet she got from some ignorant redneck saying, calling her the N-word because she chose because she wouldn't open up the city or whatever, or she didn't agree with the governor or whatever it was, right? And I said, ain't this a bitch? I said, she is really manipulating black people's juvenile emotions because black people are still so insecure that we get all up in arms and upset. We are still so weak mentally that we get all upset because some stupid anonymous redneck called us the N-word. Like people really, like that really made headline news. They could have saved their headline. All the black media that put Keisha Bottoms' N-word tweet in the headline could have used that headline to talk about something important. Could have used the headline to promote a black business. Could have used the headline to, talk about some intelligent black person that did something extraordinary. But no, instead, you use the headline. You give this toothless, idiotic redneck a full headline, a full day of news coverage because he sent a tweet to the mayor calling her the N-word, and then gave more headlines as a follow-up. Well, the FBI is now going to investigate who called her a nasty name. If she became mayor of Atlanta and can't handle somebody calling her name by now, then she shouldn't be mayor of Atlanta. You can't be mayor of a major city if you can't handle people calling you names. White people get called names. They don't give a shit. They don't sit around, well, they called me a cracker, and I just stayed home all day because I just couldn't get out of bed because I need those people to like me. I need, seriously, you really, who told black people that you need white people to like you? And why are you waiting for them to like you? That's the funniest shit in the world to me. The idea that we, with all the shit white folks have done to you over the years, you literally are sitting around upset because they tell you they don't like you. I can tell you they don't like you. I can tell you that they've shown in their actions they don't like you. So why are you sitting around looking for love in all the wrong places? That's why you don't get nothing done. Because you sit around and you're reactionary. You react to what white people say and you react to what white people do. So they're controlling you like puppets. Like if we ever, or we want to get black people distracted, all we gotta do is go call one of them the N word, and then all the other 40 million will stop what they're doing, so they can sit around and complain and cry because we because we don't love them because they don't feel loved if we don't love them, right? It's crazy to me. So I'm these are some of the thoughts that are just going through my head. Maybe I'm in a bitchy mood right now. I have no idea. I just know I watched the show, The Most Expensivest, and I swear I was trying to watch it. I was trying to enjoy it. I was like, I'm not gonna be judgmental about it. But then I just watched it and I just got mad. I just said, wait a minute, man. This guy's 42 years old, fucking Gucci headband, Dolce and Gabbana sweatshirt, all the draped in gold and shit. Like that's your model of success. Black people, like that's the best you can do. Like, is that the best that a black man can do? If that's your model of success, I kind of feel bad for you because you're basically modeling your success on being the white man's bitch. Like, you really think that that's what it means to be a successful black man is to go and make white people laugh? Like, because Two Chainz doesn't have any significant, meaningful role on that show. They don't look at him. You could tell how the white guys look at him. They kind of tolerate him because he's the host, and they want to market their business. But they're clearly, some of them are looking at him not with a point of admiration. They're looking at him like, God, your people are just stupid. Your black men are just clowns. Like, we will never call a black man if we need a new engineer. We will never call a black man if we need a business consultant. We will never call a black man if we need, sound business strategy or intelligent discourse. We'll call you when we want to kick back and smoke some weed and make jokes and whatever. Like, that's what we'll call your dumb ass for because clearly your whole culture works hard to be stupid and ridiculous. Like, seriously, like, so Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that a little bit. He talks about how during slavery, a lot of the slaves became famous by going over the top, by just always doing extra. Like, if a white man wears a hat, the black man will wear the hat backward. Or like when Chris Cross used to wear their clothes backwards, or like, you'll see rappers with, like, white man get 2 3 tattoos, black man will have tattoos like from here all the way down and all the way down his arms, and 50 pounds of gold chains around his neck, right? It basically, he said that exaggerated behavior, that clownish behavior, almost like the clown that wears the really, like, size 16 shoes when he's got size 9 feet, that's that's what draws attention to you. That's what makes you a joke. So they say, oh, that nigga's funny. I'm gonna throw a nickel at that boy because, boy, you really make me laugh. Boy, I really likes you, boy. You's a funny nigga, right? And then they flip a nickel at the little boy, and that's what a lot of our black men become. 40 years old, still a little boy that white folks are flipping nickels at because you made him laugh, because you're such a great clown. You're great at what you do. So I just kind of think that a lot of this stuff, man, it's this is one of the reasons why I think black people need to control media. I think that we got to do everything we can over time to continuously try to carve out our space in media so we can control part of our image in terms of how we're perceived, among ourselves mostly, and then by the world too. I just really think that this whole idea of rap culture dominating the black community is not a win for black folks because most rap culture is not intelligent culture. Some of it is. Some rappers and artists are great. They're wonderful. They have their place, but the idea of rappers kind of leading the charge on everything is a little bit of a problem because if you analyze the music the way I do, and I'm a big fan of rap music. I mean, I love the rap music. I love the music, but I don't love what I hear in the music. I don't love I don't love the idea of a black man like feeling like he's got to have like 10,000 tattoos, 50 pounds of gold, and walk around, high, like high all the time in order to fit in. Like, I kind of think it's okay for a black man to be like a normal person and say, I'm gonna work hard for my family. I'm gonna go and start a business and be intelligent. I don't have to speak broken English. I can actually speak in any way that I see fit. And I think that there needs to be room for that. Like, I just kind of think that we have to elevate as people because you can't have your 42-year-old men being sort of these goofy clowns that nobody respects. They're not seen as intelligent warriors. They're not seen as people that are going to really look out for their own people. They're not seen as individuals that are even going to take care of their own kids. If you ask white people, if you go ask these white folks that we get money from, that we're looking for love from, and you say, well, what do you really think about black people? Like deep down, what do you really think about black people? They don't have any respect for you. So I think when I watch this, and Chad says you're rambling. Well, fuck you, Chad. Get off my damn channel. If you really go and you look at, if you watch that show, the most expensivest, you'll kind of see a scenario where you got a black man on there who basically is not respected by any of the guests. The guests look at him and they're just kind of like they're laughing, but you could tell they're not laughing with him, they're laughing at him. And when they're laughing at you, they're in their mind, they don't want their kids to be like you. Like if you said to them, would you want your kids to grow up and be like 2 Chainz? They'd be like, oh hell no. Do you think that he's intelligent? Like is he an intelligent person that that you would actually think could offer something of value and substance to the discussion? They're not gonna agree with that. So I think that when you are seen that way, when you're seen that way, you have to kind of take a step back and sort of look at, like what are you doing? Like what kind of men are you creating? You're not creating men in your community, you're creating clowns. You're creating buffoons, and they're being laughed at by the world. When your men are being laughed at by the world, then you don't have a strong community. Nobody will look at your community and say, man, those black people are the shit. Okay, what are y'all watching? Oh, I don't watch a movie. I'm tired. I watched 2 Chainz. I don't want to fucking watch anything else. I'm watching that shit get on me. She told me they watching a movie downstairs, so I was telling. I'm just annoyed. And maybe I probably have to. I want to find a way to temper my words because I don't want to be too mean about this. But I think I'm just tired of black men losing. I'm just tired of us being jokes and being clowns. Like when the world sees the black community, they see a very weak community in an off-balance community. They see an unprotected community. They see women that are not protected. They see children that are not. You could go fucking basically buy a black child. You can buy a little black girl in the hood if you wanted to. You really could. R. Kelly did it. Shit. You could go buy little girls in the hood. Why can you buy them? Because their fathers are not there. Why are their fathers not there? For various reasons, right? Many of them are systematic, right? But at the same time, some of it is because we enable a very weak black male culture. It's a pussy ass bitch ass culture. It's not a culture that's built on sturdiness, strategy, intelligence, responsibility, accountability, and strength. It is built on coonery, ridiculousness, ignorance, laziness, and that's really unfortunate because that's actually what's perpetuated a lot through the music that's marketed to us. Nobody sees the black man as a sturdy man. The only place where sturdy men exist on a broad scale on a consistent basis is in the Nation of Islam. And that's really because the Nation of Islam got off the grid. They got off the nigger grid. They got off the black male nigger grid that's promoted to us through media. So that's why I have so much respect for the brothers in the Nation of Islam. Think about it. Look at how different the brothers in the Nation of Islam are from a lot of brothers you see just out here on the street. The brothers in the nation, they on average they eat right. They want to learn. They'll defend their community. They'll take a bullet for their people. They love their wives. They take care of their children. Like it's a whole nother level of manhood that you see there that is in complete contrast to the bullshit that's promoted through mass media. So I personally think black men need to stop getting all of our cues from white folks because white people want the black man to be a clown. They want him to be a woman. They want him to be gay, or they want him to be a beta. Those are the only four ways that a black man can fit into a white man's space.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll see you later.
All right, babe. Love you. So that's it. That's those are my thoughts, and I don't know. I guess maybe I sound like I'm being harsh when I say this, but I'm telling you, these are the things I think about. I'm sick of this, and you know what it is. I think I'm gonna tell you part of the reason why it's a pet peeve for me. Like the weakness of a black male is a pet peeve, is because I've seen that. I've dealt with that up close, right? I dealt with, when I grew up, I had a uncle who was like an older brother for me, and he just wasn't. Nobody ever really prepared him for the world. Like nobody prepared him to be a sturdy, strong, reliable man. He just wasn't ready for that. He wasn't able to deal with that. He went to prison very young. He was always mentally weak, and which led him into substance abuse and all kinds of stuff, and I just got sick of it. I just remember being so annoyed. It was like you have this person, you want to look up to them and you can't because he's a broken, weak ass bitch. Like I was literally thinking like, why are you such a bitch? I was thinking this when I was 10, you know, and you try to help the bitch, you try to work with the bitch, but society is working against you. The whole world is basically enabling bitch behavior from black men. And I just personally think as men, I think, there's a point where like we got to really take stock of who we are, really take stock of who we are as people, like take stock of how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal with, are you a person that's seeking knowledge and intelligence, or do you embrace ignorance? I think that if you point out, like I could probably point out on one hand, maybe five things that black men are pushed to embrace through, raggedy ass hip hop music and stuff like that, that that really cripple us. I think just a lack of general intelligence and a lack of education in our culture. Not just so much about going to school, but I'm talking about just being educated, like wanting to read a book, wanting to learn. Like that's just not typically encouraged in a lot of spaces. I remember dealing with that. I think drugs and alcohol do a horrible number on us. So when you have rappers promoting drug addiction and alcoholism amongst black men, you're promoting irresponsible behavior. You're promoting the kind of behavior that gets us locked up and killed. You want black people to die. Fuck a goddamn virus that kills 1 out of every 7,000 people. I don't care if you're scared of that or not. I'm not scared of no fucking virus that kills 1 in every 7,000 people. That's not gonna keep me from getting up out of bed in the morning. It's not gonna keep me from leaving my house. So I'm sorry if you want to hide under the bed till for the next 10 years, then do it. But shit, there's 1,000 other ways a black man could die besides this virus that really is not at all showing the potential that everybody claimed they had. Everybody was talking about, oh God, it's going to kill millions of people. It's killed 50,000 people. 50,000 people would have died anyway, just from all the other shit that's killing people anyway. It's the most stupid. It's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. It's just stupid, So and I think it's quite a contrast that we are so scared of this little virus, but we ain't been scared of all the other shit that's killing us, all the gun violence and the Popeyes chicken and eating grandma's soul food and not wanting to exercise and putting anything in your body that's going to kill you. Like seriously, I mean, come on, get out of here with that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not real. It's just there's a million ways things that could have killed black people, but to me that shows weakness. Like seriously, I mean, I talked to one of my friends has a father who's more old school, and he said something like he said young black men are such wimps. He said there's no way you could have kept me in the house not out feeding my family because I'm scared to catch a cold, because I'm scared to go catch the flu. Like I said, he said ain't no way I'm gonna let my children starve because the Democrats told me to stay home. Like because there's a 1 in 7,000 chance that something bad could happen to you today. No, that's not. That's not. To me, that's not manhood. Manhood means that you take chances to do what you got to do for your people. You don't take unnecessary, stupid risks. Like you don't go out and do something that's gonna get you killed. Like alcohol and drugs will get you killed. Don't fuck with alcohol and drugs. Carrying a gun and getting into violence in violent situations could get you killed. Don't mess with that. Don't go to the club because clubs is where people get shot. That's why I never went to the club. Those things can get you killed. But going out to work because you're scared of this virus that really ain't killing that many people on the scale of things. I mean, in terms of the total numbers, and getting all hyper emotional because your cousin's friend has a grandma who died. I don't relate to that. I'm sorry, it does not relate. It does not compute because any strong community in history has always had men willing to put it on the line to get the fucking job done. Every community ever has had its male warriors that are like, you know what? I don't care if there's a 70%, 80% chance I'm going to die. I'm going to do what I got to do to take care of me and mine. I'm going to do what I got to do to defend my people. I'm going to do what I got to do to take care of my kids. Like, seriously. So I just think that um, I think the black man has to look in the mirror and just really look at each other, look at ourselves, look at, How strategic and intelligent are you? Are you ahead of the game, or is the white man always one step ahead of you? How organized are you? Are you positioned in battle position to defend and protect what you love, or do you always sit around disorganized, waiting for somebody to make you into a victim? Are you doing the things that are going to give you longevity and strength, in preparation and planning, or are you sitting around, waiting for something to react to? Again, I think that one model you guys might want to look at is look at the Nation of Islam and just what they do with black men. I love the Nation of Islam because when I see the brothers in the nation, they do the little things. It's like a little bit like sports. When they say a champion does the little things on the court, like they'll dive for the loose balls, or they make crisp passes, or they position their bodies the right way when they take a jump shot. The Nation of Islam exemplifies that in life. They do the little things. Like when I have friends from the nation, if we have a meeting Tuesday at 2 o'clock, they're there at Tuesday at 1:59. No, without question. That's important. That's reliability. A man is supposed to be dependable. He's supposed to follow through. If they have a child, they're gonna take care of their child. Not 99 times out of 100. Not to say there haven't been, Nation of Islam guys who've made mistakes. I'm sure that there have been. There's been thousands of them. But on average, the culture encourages taking care of your children. Look at what they eat. They're not sitting around eating fried chicken and biscuits and pig's feet, and then sitting around waiting to die from diabetes because your ass done got super sick and you 400 pounds overweight. Most of the guys I know from the nation are pretty healthy. They don't eat a bunch of crazy stuff. So I just think, and you can keep going down the list. Intelligence and readiness, preparedness. Like there's just a different level, and I think that's a good template for manhood. I think guys should look at, and I think that because some of what I see with the men, like I don't have a lot of tolerance for men that sit around feeling sorry for themselves. Um, I just can't. If there's a point where I'm gonna say, okay, let's stop that, and let's actually do what men are supposed to do. Like let's fight back. Like let's come up with a solution. Like let's refuse to fail. Let's refuse to be pushed back. Let's refuse to give in. So I'm all these thoughts go through my mind as I watch that 2 Chainz show, because when I see this 42-year-old man, up there, like he's a success symbol for black people. He's supposed to be a successful black man, but he's dressed like an 18-year-old, who went to the Gucci store, right? The Gucci headband, the Louis Vuitton shoes, all the gold chains and all that. He's very ignorant. He's not really able to really say things that are all that insightful or all that intelligent. The guys don't respect him. They look at him like they're like, yeah, he's probably a guy that's not taking care of his kids. And I'm not saying, I don't know what his situation is with his children. I have no idea. I know Future, the guy Future, has a bunch of kids with a bunch of women. It's just kind of a sloppy existence that's encouraged amongst black men. And I think that's one of the things that we have to kind of eradicate from our community. I think that, I know people say 2 Chainz, I see a guy says, bruh, 2 Chainz is solid. If he's solid to you, then I kind of feel sorry for you, because that's not really solid. It doesn't mean that he can't add value. It doesn't mean that he can't be a person that does something good. But I don't think that representation of the black man is a good representation at all. And I'm sticking with that. I just don't think that that's something. Um, because what the thing is that we lay the bar so low that, like, if a motherfucker reads a book, like, we think that that's fucking monumental. Or if somebody just, gives like $10,000 to the local boys club, we're like, oh my God, look at him, he's doing so many positive things. No, like really, I would almost say this too, especially when you talk about, and I talked about this with Kanye West. Kanye West was bragging that he's a billionaire now. And I said, okay, if you're a billionaire, then no neighborhood that you rep in Chicago should be sort of mired in poverty. Like, if you're really a billionaire, there should be 10,000 people in the city of Chicago that can say they have a job because of you. Like that. Literally, a billionaire can employ 10,000 people. So I personally think that the standard, the bar, has to be raised. For a lot of the black celebrities, they go out and make this money. I don't really see like what they're good for. Honestly, a lot of them, I just don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't know. You can tell me. Maybe there's something I'm missing. In terms of pillars for the community, I don't see that. I think I see many of them kind of representing the sort of rotten, downtrodden part of our community. Like just kind of like, yeah, I'm repping all the people who are always in the struggle, but it's like I'm trying to figure out what mechanisms are being put in place to get those people out of the struggle. Or is it your claim to fame? Like, I'm just going to acknowledge that these people are suffering and struggling and dying and broke. Like that's I'm going to acknowledge you. I'm gonna do a video in your neighborhood with a bunch of little kids, with no shirt on or whatever, on their little bikes in the background, so that I can let people know I'm from the streets. But I think that there's a point where a man kind of says, I'm going to get with smart people that can develop infrastructure to truly repair these streets at at a fundamental, meaningful, relevant level. Like so, for example, and I'm not putting myself in any sort of special category. I'm not trying to do that. But so I say this with hesitation. But like when we created the Black Business School, you know, I wanted to solve a specific problem. I wanted to educate hundreds of thousands of Black people on the key foundational aspects of wealth. I wanted to make sure that as many Black people as possible could know how to invest in the stock market. You can go to firstshareofstock.com. I've got a free training right there on how to buy your first share of stock. So I wanted as many Black people as possible to know how to invest in the stock market. I wanted as many Black people as possible to know how to buy real estate. I want as many Black people as possible to know how to start a business. And I also wanted to get rid of the student loan problem if I could. So those people who don't want to go spend $100,000 getting a business degree can go study at the Black Business School for just a few $100 and get better education that's more cultural centric. So now the reason I don't put that expectation on the rappers is because I'm educated at what I do the same way they're educated at writing a rhyme, right? As good as Ti is at rapping, I'm that good at finance, right? So what I think though is that I think that when you have those individuals that are in that position where they're reaching all these people with their music, they really need to be consulting with not so much with just me. They can talk to me if they want to, but really, and some of them do, but people like myself who can help develop infrastructural solutions to the Black community. They should be on the horn with Dr. Claude Anderson, putting $1 million, 10 million, 100 million in his pocket so that he can go and implement, long-term strategies that will benefit the entire Black community. Like Dr. Claude Anderson talks all the time about how a lot of Black celebrities will tell him how much they love Powernomics, but don't actually participate in it. Won't make any investments in anything. Won't actually come to him with anything that's actually built and developed. And here's the thing: we've got people in the community that can do that. We've got people that can do that. The problem is, from what I see, is they don't have the capital because they give all the money to the rappers. The rappers get all the money and they want to go buy Gucci and shit and fucking, Lamborghinis and whatever. And it's not actually turned into investment capital in a meaningful way. And then when rappers do invest, they typically invest with white people. Like Jay-Z invested with Uber. They so here's what it is, right? You've got people that are that have certain roles in society. They're typecast. So the rapper is interpreted as the entertainer and the clown and the thug. That's what his role is. If a Black man does not fit those roles, then he doesn't get invited into those conversations. Then you've got the white boys who are seen as the tech geniuses. They're seen as the ones who invent the Facebooks and who develop the corporations, right? So the rappers partner with the nerdy white boys. Like I think Nas's investment partner is a nerdy white boy who sees Nas's brand value, and Nas sees his tech ability, and Nas, helps him get the money that he needs in order to implement his next venture. And so I personally think, and maybe somebody's out there doing it, but I personally think that there need to be more partnerships between Black entertainers and Black engineers, Black entertainers and Black entrepreneurs, Black entertainers and Black business people, Black entertainers and Black accountants, Black entertainers and Black lawyers, Black entertainers and Black managers. And these should be partnerships that have the double bottom line of not just trying to make as much money as possible, by creating something for the world, but I think that they should also start by creating things for the black community. Seriously, like I don't understand why you can't, why consortium. I understand why I'm saying this in theory, but why can't a bunch of rappers and entertainers get together and raise $100 million to really give Sharif Abdul Malik, the capital he needs to really take We Buy Black to the absolute highest level? Why can't We Buy Black operate with a $100 million capital base coming from black entertainers, black athletes, and stuff like that are looking for an investment? Why is it that when Jay Morrison created the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, shout out to Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey invested in the Tulsa Fund. Nipsey gave me the idea to put 10,000 in Jay's fund. I saw where Nipsey had made a comment on Jay's Instagram saying, "Yeah, bro, this is great. I'm gonna put 10,000 in it." I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna put 10,000 in it too," because I wanted to endorse what Jay was doing because I liked what he was doing. And my thing though is like, why is it that we even allowed it, that when NFL athletes started hearing about the Tulsa Fund, and they also, some of them expressed interest in investing in a fund that was rooted in the black community, doing projects in the black community. They allowed the NFL's Player Association to write this warning letter to all the players, warning them about the Tulsa Fund, like literally giving bad press to the Tulsa Fund when you've got all kinds of slick haired, greasy ass people, from the Italian community getting black athlete money. I'm sure they got criminal Jewish managers and agents out here so the idea that they over scrutinized the Tulsa Fund really bothered me because what I like about the Tulsa Fund is that the money came from the community and it's going to go back into the community. You see, what we have is we have a lot of situations where maybe money comes from the community and it goes to other communities. Or we have situations where the artists say, I'm not fucking with black people because I got what I need from black people. I already stole their cultural capital. I already took the hood and I'm marketing the hood to millions of white people. And they're paying me money to act like a clown and to wear, 20 gold chains and a Gucci belt and to rap about the hood I came from. So I got what I need from black people. Now I need business strategy. I don't need that from black people because black people don't do that. Black people can rap and play basketball. So if you don't rap or play basketball, if you're not, 6'8", or if you can't bust a rhyme, then we have no use for you. Now all my buddies around me, all the people I'm doing business with, all the people where I'm putting money in their pockets, all the people I'm helping raise funds with are going to be the white boys. And we're going to be doing white people stuff off somewhere else that has nothing to do with the black community. So my old community that I came from, when I get back there, it's still going to be poor. It's still going to be dismantled. It's still going to have all kinds of homicides and chaos. I mean, seriously, y'all are worried about, a few thousand black people. I don't even know if it's in the thousands, but that die from corona. And you got millions of black people dying from all kinds of other shit and don't give a shit. Don't have nothing to say about that. And so I just think that overall, we just have to sort of scrutinize ourselves a little bit better, and I'm probably preaching to the choir, and I'm either preaching to the choirs or I'm preaching to the haters, right? The choir are people that are sick of it too. The choir, and that's who I like talking to. I like talking to people who get what I'm saying, who can sort of scrutinize things a little bit better, who can piece it a little bit better together. Because sometimes you may have a feeling about that something ain't right, but you don't know what it is. You can't put your finger on it, right? So because I'm 48 years old and I have a PhD in finance, I can analyze things on an economic level that a lot of people can't see. So I share this openly and I have these open brainstorms where sometimes it sounds like I'm rambling, but I'm not really rambling. I'm actually piecing it together in a way where I'm thinking out loud because I want people to hear me think out loud about it so we can really solve a problem. I'm not here to complain about a problem as much as I definitely want to solve it. But then, secondly, preaching to the haters pretty much is a matter of talking to people who have this emotional connection to black victimhood, or they have an emotional connection to the status quo. So they become offended. They become offended that I have the audacity to sound like I'm speaking ill of the people that they worship. Now, most of these people ain't shit. Most of these people haven't accomplished anything. Most of these people have very low standards for the community. They don't, motherfuckers ain't taking care of their kids and ain't really accomplishing nothing, right? So they're kind of defending the current image of the black man as weak, as ignorant, as a perpetual victim. Like I've seen black folks work overtime really, really hard to defend their victimhood. Like you get black people that will really get mad if you take away their status as a victim. Like so, for example, Van Jones. And I don't even agree with Van on a lot of stuff. I don't like what he does for the Democrats. These Democratic Party surrogates, you got to watch out for that. But I liked what Van said when he said that black people have to, in addition to dealing with systematic racism that causes health disparities, we also have to really look at what we're eating and look at whether we're exercising and look at whether we're taking care of ourselves. And people went bananas on him. People went berserk on Van. I don't know if anybody saw that, but people went nuts on Van. Like they got really mad at him. Like, how dare you hold black people accountable? Like, how dare you say that black people can control any of our own destiny? How dare you allow us to somehow believe that we can affect our destiny and not just sit around and wait for white people to become wonderful human beings and to care about us enough to take care of us? How dare you not go with the consistent narrative, which is we will do better when white people decide they're going to stop being mean to us, right? And I just think that was a reminder. It reminded me of, again, also of that Lizzo conversation back. You guys remember that when I said that I don't think it's healthy for a woman to promote obesity when obesity is one of those pre-existing conditions that's killing black people. Why would you be okay with somebody mass promoting the idea of people being obese? Why wouldn't you encourage them to do better? Say, we love your big ass. Like I was fat, my woman loved me, but she also never encouraged me to stay fat. She never wanted me to stay fat. She wanted me to get in shape so I could stay alive. And I remember how many people got really mad because it's like when you take away people's ability to feel good in their mediocrity. A lot of people get very comfortable in their mediocrity. And when you take away their right and their ability to feel good in the middle of their shit, they get mad at you. Like if you say, "Hey, get up off your ass. You could do something, clean up this room. You could fix your situation. Stop feeling sorry for yourself." People will really get pissed off about that. So I really just think that we're kind of in a war. We're really in a culture war. At least every day I wake up feeling like I'm in a war. And I'm in a war against ignorance. I'm in a war against complacency. I'm in a war against, self-hate. I'm in a war against the status quo. I'm in a war against white supremacy. And the war against white supremacy is a difficult war because most of the white supremacists I know are black. Most of the people that I know who are white supremacists are black people because I don't know that many white people. I don't talk to that many white people. I've written them out of the equation. I'm dealing with black people. And a lot of the greatest challenges that I run into, in terms of weird pushback, weird amounts of weird behavior and destructive behavior is from black people that I see who come in and don't want to see the community improve or get really resistant and angry when you actually, how dare that nigga propose a solution? How dare that nigga say that we can read a book? How dare he act like we can actually do better? And I just really think that's what you're fighting against. So I think on an individual level, at the very least, if you want to know what I try to do in my life in order to combat that, because there's only so much I can do, right? And I have a little bit more access because I have a little bit of a platform, and I get to share ideas to those who would like to hear them or those who I want to talk to. I don't really want to talk to everybody, to be honest with you. That's why I have no problem blocking people from the platform, getting people out of the page or whatever. Because it's like when you're a teacher. Like I'm a teacher, right? So as a teacher, if you got a student that's in class that is disrupting class and interrupting the other students, you send them to the principal's office. You put them out, right? So I have no problem putting somebody out of class. I got enough followers and stuff, so I don't need more. And I don't care if I have less. But I use the platform to share ideas that I believe are typically going to be different from what you see in mainstream media, because you got to be careful of mainstream media, because mainstream media is designed to keep you weak, to keep you stupid, and to keep you dependent. And horribly distracted and misguided. Horribly distracted and misguided. Now, on a personal level, in terms of how I carry myself as a man, I take tremendous pride in being a black man. Being a black man, to me, a lot of it means just doing my best. Every day I get up, I might not always win, but every day, damn it, I'm always do my best. When it comes to my family, like those kids in this house ain't never gonna have to worry about having a black man in their house who's gonna get on their knees and cry like a bitch because things got hard, or because some intruder broke in the house, he was hiding in the closet, or money was short and he just gave up. Like they're not gonna have to worry about that. So because I think that with black maleness, with manhood, there's a sturdiness, there's like a commitment, there's a just sort of an attitude that just says, man, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna go hard in the paint on what I believe in, and I'm gonna stand up. And that's, I think on an individual level, and this is really just something I'm sharing openly in case it helps somebody, is like that's really my philosophy. Like every day, like you know, like every day, like I'm serious. Like, and I have people that I can see where they try to test me or whatever. They'll say nasty stuff online or whatever, and part of my manhood says you're never ever gonna even pierce my psyche, not even a quarter of an inch. The white man can't do it, and a dumb nigga can't do it because y'all working for the same damn team. You know the racist white folks and the dumb niggas are on the same damn. They both on team white supremacy, and you have no power in this place. In this place, this is a place of, if anybody has supremacy, this is a place of black supremacy. Black supremacy means that we put black people first. We put our family first, our children first, our community first. We are the winners. We are the great ones. We are the strongest. We are the best. We are the most capable. We are the most prepared. We stay ready so we ain't got to get ready. Our kids are going to run circles around your kids. Our kids are going to know business and economics at an early age, and your kids are figuring it out at the age of 30. Your kids are going to be victims. Our kids will not. We will win. You will lose, and that's how it's going to be. So, and where did I learn that from? I learned that from studying the culture of societies that were able to earn and defend their freedom. You know, one thing you learn throughout history is that there's never been a society that was able to obtain its freedom and or defend its freedom that did not have people that just went hard to the very end, to the death, that never gave up. They carried a can-do attitude about everything that they were trying to do. Right. And I just want to see more black men have that attitude all the time. We have it in things like sports. Like you'll see guys have that attitude on the football field, or you'll see guys have that attitude on the basketball court. But I really think we also have to carry that attitude into the game of life. Into the game of life, you have to always win and or go for the win, or fight for the win, or fight to the death. You know, and a lot of black men had that attitude before integration. Integration made black men into pussies. It really did. Integration gave, because what integration really did, and liberalism really does, honestly, and this socialist shit, is it gives black people a bucket full of excuses. It gives black men like a big basket full of excuses that you can pull out whenever you don't want to be held accountable, or whenever you don't want to deal with the burden of responsibility. You got an excuse. Well, why aren't you taking care of your kids? Well, because let me look at my bucket of excuses. Oh, because I'm a black man, and my daddy was not there when I was growing up. Okay, well, why can't you feed your children? Because the black male unemployment rate is twice as high as the white unemployment rate, right? Why can't you do, why's your mama, your senior citizen mama sitting at home and her grass ain't cut? Because because as a black male, I am under many pressures, and it causes psychological damage. It causes damage to my psyche and makes me incapable of doing things that take care of other people. Like seriously, like we have a bucket full of excuses, and I think that that doesn't help you. Excuses don't help you. Like excuses or a lack of empowerment will never help you. And the best thing my father gave me, again, my father was pre-integration. He's old school Southern black man. If you pay attention, if you watch that documentary of Michael Jordan, his father was old school Southern black man. Scottie Pippen, his father was old school Southern black man. And one of the things that I think they have in common is that a lot of the sturdy old school Southern black men were not really big into making excuses. Like when it came to certain things that reflect your pride as a man, like when it came to protecting your woman, there's no excuse. You either protect your woman or you don't deserve to have a woman. When it came to providing for your kids, you found a way to get it done. And I think that one of the greatest things my dad gave me was he just really kind of let me know, like, excuses are for punks. Like excuses are for wimps. So if you lean on an excuse as a reason why you didn't get what you want out of life, then you're going to go through life constantly failing, constantly falling short, constantly disappointing the people that love you, and you're not going to be happy with who you are. So, and I grew up with that. I grew up also watching my uncle, who was like an older brother to me. I saw him make excuse after excuse after excuse. I swear to God, this guy, and I love him, rest his soul. He was the closest human being to me on this earth. I used to follow him around when I was a little baby, and I remember he died, like he went to the grave, like he was in his 40s, and still failing, still falling on his face, and using excuses from like the first grade, like talking about things that happened to him when he was 6, you know. And I just think anybody who gives the black man that type of a crutch and then convinces him to use it through life, what you've really done is you've taken a man and you've made him uncompetitive. You've made him something less than a man. You've made him into almost like an animal or a child. Well, again, like I said, black men can they have a role in society, in American white society, if they are gay, um, a beta male, a clown, or just like a little girl, like a little girl's persona, like non-threatening, that kind of thing. So ultimately, that's what you have, and I think that's why I think black men need to quarantine themselves from white supremacy. Like I quarantined myself from that because I was like, I'm not gay, I'm not gonna be a little girl, I'm not gonna be a beta. I'm not built to be a beta. I'm a man. I'm a real man, and I take pride in that. And part of being a man means um just accepting that, like not over scrutinizing yourself. Like I think, a lot of times we lose our confidence because we question ourselves, like, well, maybe I'm not smart enough, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not going to succeed or whatever. And I learned how to let a lot of that go. Like, so every day I know I fuck up. I know sometimes I do things that don't come out right. I know that I try things and I fail, but fuck it, like I really seriously, like I know that I cuss too much sometimes and people get mad because I cuss, or maybe because I'm too controversial. Like I've had all of that. I've heard everything. I've heard people say, Dr. Boyce, you'd have more followers if you weren't so controversial. And I think about it for a minute and I say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna be me. Like being me is the strategy I've chosen, and that's the one I'm gonna stick with, and that's the one I'm gonna go to my grave with. If I lose everything by being me, then that's okay. Like that's all right. So those are like little things, like little tips I would give guys out here. Like if you're listening, maybe you've never had anybody talk to you like this before, and maybe I'm not the one. I don't know all the answers. I don't know all the answers to everything, but I just want to encourage you, like, be proud of what you are and who you are and what your potential is, and stop making all those goddamn excuses. Stop making excuses. When you get that black woman next to you, she needs you. She really needs you to step up. Get you a good black woman. Don't get one of these raggedy, weak ass, women out here. Don't get you like a real woman. Get you a solid black woman. If you get a solid black woman, she's gonna look for you to be a solid black man. And then your kids are gonna look up to you like a superhero until you prove to them otherwise. If you show them that you're anything other than the strong man they can depend on, then they're gonna start looking at you different. So take that responsibility. That's a source of pride. That's your opportunity to be a king. Every black man has an opportunity to be the king of something. Every black man has the opportunity to lead something. And so, like in my house, I take pride in the fact that, like, I'm like, yeah, I'm the man of this house. That is my woman over there. Those are my children over there. This is my property, you know. And sometimes even in the house, sometimes I gotta tell Alicia, like, I'm sorry, babe. I know you bitching. I know you in a crazy mood, but I'm the man right now, and that's that's what's going to happen. Like, and I just think that kind of audacity is important for black men. I think you have to gain confidence in who you are. Be proud of who you are and practice that. Just practice that every day. And I think it'll come out because it didn't come natural to me. I had to figure some of these things out. And I just think that in this competition with white folks, you got to remember you're in a competition. You're not in a collaboration. They are not your partners at this point. They are not your partners because they don't respect you enough to partner with you. The partnership is either you submit to us or we're going to marginalize you. So when you're in a situation like that where you're in a competition, you got to find a way to compete. So go compete, black man. Don't be scared. And I know I said a lot today. I know I talked a while, and I appreciate those who listened. I know some people think I talk too much, but sometimes I deliberately will talk a long time just to make the people with low attention span, maybe they'll decide never to come back, because I really don't want people here that aren't really ready to hear a different kind of message. Because I'm just sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of black people losing. I'm sick of us getting our ass kicked. I'm sick of us feeling sorry for ourselves. I'm sick of us waiting on white people to take care of us. I'm sick of us reacting to every stupid little thing that happens. I'm sick of us being content with being ignorant and broke, and I'm sick of us worshiping clowns. Like, it's just the whole culture is just ridiculous to me, and I can't stand it. So anyway, that's it. I'm about to go. Let me go to sleep. Let me quit talking before I say something that's gonna really get me in trouble. But you guys have a good night, and it was fun talking to you. And by the way, you were asking what's the website to go learn to buy your first share of stock. It's firstshareofstock.com. So at the very least, I hope you'll consider becoming an investor, because when I tell you, again, as a financial expert, which you guys know I am, stock market investing is the number one of the number one keys, number one ways that people go from poverty to wealth, high wealth status. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes about 15 to 20 years really before you really start seeing the difference, but it does make a difference. So if you want to learn to buy your first share of stock, just go to firstshareofstock.com. That's firstshareofstock.com. So take care. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.